Welcome back to the bookcast. Today is the continuation of last week's episode with Amro. Please enjoy.
Master Duel is where I got to really test like stuff out.
Yeah.
Because that's where I played Endymion. The only Pendulum deck that I have ever liked.
Oh, you actually liked Endymion?
I loved Endymion. And they even were like went crazy like, oh, Endymion has so much text. I'm like, it's literally two things. It's special summon itself, pop a few things, and it's a spell negate. That's it. That's it. It's not a lot.
I mean, it does have quite a few words.
It's wordy. It is very wordy.
But if you know what it does, it's not that hard to explain.
Yeah. Like, people always made the joke like, oh, Endymion, what does it do? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's so simple.
It's a spell negate.
It's just a spell negate.
Usually that's literally all it is.
Yeah. Unless you play from the Pendulum Zone, then it pops everything.
Then it does stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's pretty rare. I guess if you're playing pure Endymion, that's
what I played.
Yeah.
There was the Hyper Magical Cannon, which is remove 10 spell counters from the field, destroy your opponent's board.
That's... Oh my gosh, you're on Hyper Magical Cannon.
I pulled it off only one time, but I was so stupid, I put it on an Imperm Zone.
That's the Master Duel experience.
That's the Master Duel experience. Oh my god, I was so upset.
That is definitely the Master Duel
I got to play Plunder. That was very fun. The One Piece. The One Piece deck.
The One Piece is real!
The One Piece.
Yes, Plunder fun.
What else did I play? I played Salmon Greats, but I didn't really like that.
Oh, that's interesting. Salmon was like my favorite deck.
Oh, really? I don't know. I didn't jive with me. What was that? I played Witchcrafters. Absolutely did not like it.
That's, yeah, Witchcrafter is a thing. Sit on Lolly.
I guess.
That's the game plan.
That is the game plan. Well, I was trying it with the Fusion card. The new Fusion card.
Oh.
But I was not playing on Master Duel with that one. I played on the, simulator. yugioh.
yugioh Pro, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Gishkis. Oh, I love Gishkis. Gishkis are so much fun.
What version of Gishki is this?
I played with the new support that's coming out. With the new ritual monster.
I saw it when that stuff came out. Lithium had the audacity to make a Sprite variant. Like,
oh my god.
Well, like level 2s.
I thought about that because I actually put in Sprite Elf. I have Sprite Elf in that deck.
Yeah.
Because Gishki Beast is not once per turn.
Yeah, exactly.
And he searches your entire deck.
So you loop him.
You run Abyss Dweller, Marinsa's Anemone, and Sprite Elf. And then with one of the new Gishki cards, you get to summon Beast up to 4 times.
Yeah.
Search 4 different cards. It's bonkers.
Yeah, but is the deck good?
But then you end on 2 negates. All of that work is to end on 2 negates.
I think it's one thing to play good. I don't know. This is an interesting little tidbit in general about rogue decks, where it's like if you're playing a rogue deck like Gishki, you probably don't want to play a lot of Sprite cards.
No, you only play Elf. You only play Elf.
Elf max, that's it.
I thought about Gigantic, but then I realized, Gigantic locks me into level 2s.
Yeah. What
the heck am I doing with level 2s in Gishkis?
Well, I could be misremembering. Apologies to Lithium if I am. I'm pretty sure what he did is he would go through, full Gishki combo, right? And then, Elf, bring it back to get another search at the very end. And then you just slap it and the Elf on top of each other for Gigantic.
And then goes.
And then you summon Blue, Jet, add Smashers, summon another Elf, right?
I might try that. That sounds fun.
and now you've got you did your whole thing, but now you also have the Smashers and a very large Gigantic for follow up.
I just think that with Agents, I still end on the best board ever.
The best board ever.
Unironically, the best board ever. Because it ends on Christia, Herald, the Synchro one, and then 2 Divine Punishments.
That is pretty
Nothing will go... the only thing that beats you is Lava Golem.
Yeah, that's yeah.
No. Is Lava Golem a special summon?
Oh yeah, you're right. You can't even
Lava Golem.
I mean, in theory, if they just have enough things that push through? Because it's really only, what is that, 3 negates?
It's 3 negates, but they cannot special summon.
Yeah, but if you're up against something like Sky Striker, you're kind of boned.
Are you?
Yeah, because they're going to activate Dark Ruler. He's going to Divine Punishment that.
Okay, that's one.
Then they're going to activate, like, Widow Anchor.
Okay, Divine Punishment that.
You're probably going to Divine Punishment that. And now...
Wait, don't they need to control Sky Striker to do that? No?
Nope. The spell traps, I'll say, if you have no monsters in your main monster side.
Oh, okay.
So you can always just... In fact, there were some formats where people just played Widow Anchor.
Oh.
Not in Sky Striker. Because it's, like, better Chalice.
I wasn't very active during during TOS format.
Yeah. TOS is the one where I played the most in. Anyway, but it wasn't during TOS format that people started playing Widow Anchor.
Yeah.
It was like later, just a couple of random, I think,
Is that why it got limited? Or semi-limited?
No, it got hit because Sky Striker was good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The only, the token generator that one got hit because it was being played in a lot of other stuff. Whatever that one's called. Hornet Drones. That one got hit not specifically because it was good in Sky Striker, but because every deck was like, free token that then gets you another token. It's like, that's a free link too.
Yeah. But let's keep going through the list. So we've already used 2 Divine Punishments.
Yeah, and well, so you've got your Dark Ruler and then you've got your
Herald.
Herald.
And then I have a Banish from Master Flare Hyperion.
Oh, so you have 3 monsters.
I end on 3 monsters.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty good. I guess, no, if you can get to that inboard, I'm not really sure what would stop you, to be honest.
Most of anybody who I played against just scoops. Oh, and you would actually sometimes just end on some Heralds of Ornvite in hand.
Not anymore.
No, well, you can end on the 1.
Yeah, no, that is a pretty good board. I guess, and it seems like it'd be pretty good this format because people aren't really playing that many hand traps. I mean, how hard is it to play through, like, DD Crow or...
DD Crow hurts because if they banish the Majesty Hyperion, my game just got a lot harder.
Yeah.
Because I lost a level 8 to Synchro.
Mm-hmm.
So, losing Majesty Hyperion sucks, but Ashes don't really hurt that much. Effects are kind of hurtful. The thing that hurts the most is Nibiru.
Yeah.
Absolutely Nibiru.
Did you summon the Christia too late?
If I don't get the Christia early, which I don't, because I need to summon 9 Shine Balls and burn myself for 6,000 life points. Oh no, 4,500.
Yeah.
You know, that's the agent's life. Always lose on time.
That's true.
Always lose on time.
That's definitely going to happen. So, that's a nice little, I don't know how good it actually is because I don't know how bricky it is, but that inboard's good for sure. Right now, anyway.
It's a 2-card combo.
That does not tell me anything about how consistent it is.
I mean, if you get Earth or you get the Searcher, that's it. And you're on 3 of each, and then Venus herself. The brickiest thing is the regular Hyperion, the regular Master Hyperion, the Majesty. Oh, we're on a lot of bricks. We're on actually a lot of bricks.
Yeah.
The 3 Shine Balls, the Christia, those are...
But none of them are hard garnets, right?
Yes, they are.
They are hard
Every
garnets?
single one of them is hard garnet.
Oh! Ouch!
The Master Hyperion and the Majesty are useless without any other monster.
So, yeah.
The Christia is literally worthless.
I'm seeing where this is falling apart a little bit.
The Christia is literally worthless in hand. And then you have 3 Shine Balls that do absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only good way of summoning them is to special them through Venus. And there's the evil Venus, who's also a garnet.
Oh.
Because she doesn't do anything on her own. The Shine Balls need to be already engraved. So that's 8 now. There's Uranus, who without Sanctuary in the Sky cannot be cannot be summoned except by tribute. Now we're up to 9. Mm-hmm. We're now up to 9. That's almost 4th of my deck is garnets.
Yeah.
But you're opening 5 cards, so
yeah, that's fine.
I brick every now and then.
Yeah.
It's not as often as I brick. I get better hands than most times.
I can see how that'd be good.
And agents, you know what? I like having a deck that is cheaper than 1 Appaloosa. Used to be. Appaloosa's now
not that cheap, not that expensive anymore.
I like having a deck that's cheaper than one Sprite.
That's
blue.
Right now.
Blue.
Blue for sure. Yeah,
Blue for sure.
Cheaper than
blue for sure.
Do you know about the one time Venus has been competitive a couple times. Like actually,
I've heard about that.
Actually, agents as a strategy was meta at one point.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I wasn't playing at that time.
But also Venus was good in World Chalice.
Yeah, I've known.
Actually topped. Actually was pretty
representation,
good. Baby. I read a card that got announced recently called Duality. Not pot of, just Duality.
What does that do?
And you tribute a monster you control that is a light or dark monster. And then you special summon from your deck or extra deck a monster with the same level type and the opposite attribute.
Oh, okay.
And
so you would summon Evil Venus with that one, essentially.
Or Evil Venus could turn into Venus.
Evil Venus could turn into Venus. That would help.
So I was reading it. I read that card and I was like, this has to be broken.
It feels broken.
Surely there is a strategy where this is absolutely insane. Because you're special summoning a guy from the deck. It just has to be, and light and dark is like the two best types in the game, obviously.
Yeah. And
it works both ways. It just doesn't have to be a light to a dark. It could be a dark to a light too.
Yeah.
So I was like, surely there's something. And I was looking at it and I was like, unfortunately, well, good for the metagame, but unfortunately for me thinking about this, does not work with any of the tiers because light aquas, 4 of them.
Oh, yeah.
There are 4 of them. They are all terrible also. And it's like, I was trying to think of something, and I couldn't really think of anything. I was trying to find some dark fairies, like maybe Trickstar could do something with it, because I know that there are dark fairies that are good. Couldn't really find any good synergy there. But now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, agents, maybe.
Chaos Valkyria is a good one. Mm-hmm. She's a good dark fairy.
Because all the dark fairies that are good are really high level.
She's level 4. Chaos Valkyria is level 4, yeah. She's 1850. And
is she the one who special summons herself by banishing a light or a dark?
Yeah.
So you could you can't special summon her from the deck, right? Because she can only be special summoned by her own effect.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure she's one of the chaos monsters. Yeah. But you could convert her into a light fairy.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Light level 4 fairies, I'm pretty sure there are a few really good ones.
Yeah, I'm sure there are. None in agents, though.
Well.
None in agents. I assure you.
I don't know.
I think the only level 4 is Jupiter, who sucks balls.
Leave a comment on a good card to use Duality on. Break Duality for us so we can know what could be good. Because it just feels like a card that...
Yeah, and as I said, I am casual. So, my library of cards that are in my brain are...
Pretty small.
Pretty small.
I don't know. Part of that's just time spent playing. Like, I'm not the most competitive guy, but I've just been in it for long enough now.
Yeah.
Like, every format you live through, you just, remember everything.
Like, most of my knowledge is video games.
That's true.
Like, what did I play in these video games? Like, what did I face in these video games?
Yeah, a bunch of weird stuff, probably.
Really weird stuff. My biggest thing that I hated fighting the most on Attack Force 3 was the BES monsters. Because they were just freaking huge with no real out to them at that time.
Yeah.
That I could figure out because I'm dumb.
That's really funny.
Like, oh, I have this 2300 monster that cannot die.
The BES, those cards.
Oh my god, I always hated fighting BES. I was hating fighting Burn. Burn in Attack Force 3, there's one chick, her name is Bright, she has green hair, fucking hate her. She upsets me every time I fight her.
I just want that out of context now. I'm gonna make it short. That's just you saying, she has green hair, and I hate her.
She has red glasses.
Red glasses?
Red frame glasses.
No, so she's Christmas?
She's Obelisk Blue. She's, in the Obelisk Blue dorm. In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
She's red, green, blue.
No, it's,
No, I'm saying she's got green hair and red glasses, Christmas colors.
Yeah, and then blue clothes.
And then blue clothes.
And she runs Burn.
So, she is a bit of a cacophony of colors there.
Yeah, and there's also Mindy, who, from the Anime Watchers, is one of Alexis's friends.
Uh-huh.
And she uses a weird Burn deck, too. But hers sucks. Because it's always uns and a draw.
Is it like self-destruct button?
It's essentially,
What
it's
is
a
forcing you to
card
draw?
that every standby phase deal 200 damage
Oh, is
to
it
both
like
players.
Scorching Land? Or...
And then the next standing by phase, double it. And it keeps doubling.
Yeah, I know.
But it's to both players.
Yeah.
So by
it
turn
always seems like you
4,
draw.
it would kill us both.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess from the game design standpoint, it's like the characters don't need to win. They just need to stop you from winning.
Exactly. And Tag Force, you choose one of the main characters, and they're now your partner. You go tag duel with them.
Yeah.
Alexis is the worst one. Her AI is broken.
How so?
I have Mirror Force set.
Yeah.
Insanely good card. They're attacking with 3 monsters. No negates. No nothing. Alexis just lets it go through and we lose.
That's funny.
I have Mirror Force! Use it!
And then she's like, this is fun.
This is fine. I
lose.
think we can take this hit.
That's funny.
I'm like, Alexis, we're 200 life points. We're gonna die. We die.
For me, it's weird. I never really watched played any of the games
Mm-hmm.
at all. Like, I played Legacy of the Duelist,
Oh, yeah.
which, on the Switch.
Just
that was
the
very
anime.
recently. I played Master Duel. Obviously, I played Master Duel. And it's like, that was, yeah. I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Nexus and Dueling Book.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, that is the extent of my gaming online. The vast majority of my time Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been spent, technically the vast majority of it has been spent playing in a phone app, called...
Duel Links?
No, well, I hated Duel Links. I'm so glad Duel Links is dead.
I only
forever.
played Harpies on Duel Links.
Let Duel Links burn in a hole and die and be gone forever.
Whoa. It's like, tell them how you really feel.
I hate Duel Links so much. I have an app called Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
I'd recommend that everybody use, and it has a deck tester.
Yeah, it has a deck tester. I use that.
And I love it because I get to, of course, in the old days especially,
Mm-hmm.
I used it to build really dumb decks and then test them, like dumb FDKs. And I also used it for, even back in my high school days, I used it to help optimize my friends' decks. That's stuff I would do as well.
Oh.
So basically anything, I'd try to put together something good in that first. And to this day, most of my time Yu-Gi-Oh! Is spent trying to optimize builds in that deck tester in preparation for eventually maybe buying those cards.
Oh, yeah.
That's my method.
Oh, buying cards always scared me because, like, what if I don't like this? Like, what if I actually just hate this deck?
Well, for me, it's like for most of my time playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I would wait so long to buy the cards.
And then they jump up in price.
I'd want to wait until I knew it was going to be good. I'd want to wait because maybe the prices will go down,
Mm-hmm.
which, a lot of times they do. And I'd also wait and, like, what if I don't know what build to play? Like, I want to wait till the build rises to the surface that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
But often that means I'd actually spend more because once the build is finalized and stuff like that, everyone's buying those cards. There are a lot of people like that. This format was the first format where I bought cards, like, because every time a new product releases, it's got the pre-sale spike.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a dip.
And then a spike again.
And sometimes there's another spike, but it kind of inclines up, and then eventually it goes down, right? And I bought the dip.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time where I was like, I don't know what the format's going to be exactly. I know it's going to be tiers, so I'm just going to buy the dip on everything. So I bought the dip on the tier cards. I bought the dip on the Bestials.
Oh, yeah.
I bought mine. And now I'm looking at all my cards, and I'm like, these cards are so expensive now. It's the first time I've done that. But because of that, my build is really unoptimized.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but now you can sell the expensive stuff and buy whatever you're missing.
That's true. I can. But I'm also in a weird place right now where it's like, if you want to keep up with the current... Oh, yeah, also another problem is because I'd wait so long, cards would get banned.
Oh, yeah.
So, but...
Look how well that worked for Mystic Mind. Look how long it took.
Took a long time. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm in a weird spot in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing right now, where it's like, I could play Tiers, but I'm not actually very good at Yu-Gi-Oh! And Tiers is just a little bit complex enough to where I don't know what I did wrong.
That's what I like about the decks that I chose, is that they're all like really linear. And I'm like, okay, I just do this until I get to this stuff and I'm done. Like, if I get interrupted during any of the process, I'm done. But like, okay, that I can deal with that.
It's really funny to me in hindsight that I loved Salad so much. Because Salad is very much like that.
Yeah.
It is non-linear, what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually,
that's why I didn't like it.
There are a lot of decision points after the first turn. And now, looking back, I'm like, why did I like that so much? I think it's because I just was so invested, if that makes sense. I played so much that even though I didn't make the best decision points, it was good enough to get me most of the wins, which made me think I was rad and cool.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's like whenever I beat Tiers or Sprites with agents, and I'm like, I am the best superior Yu-Gi-Oh player ever.
That is how it feels every time.
Every single time.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I think what I like is, I don't know, I kind of like Sword Soul. I played that in Master Duel, and that's really linear. But there's a little bit of intricacy to it, especially if you play like the Penny cards.
Oh, yeah.
That gives you a couple decision points. I really, really liked Sky Striker, which is interesting.
It's literally just make Kataragi or whatever her name is.
Kagari?
Kagari, yeah. I don't know their names.
You make all of the Sky Striker links.
Yeah.
You go through all the Sky Strikers. But the thing that I liked at the time when I played it, I don't play it right now, although I'm thinking about it. What I liked at the time when I played Sky Striker is, every time you played, there aren't that many decision points, but every decision point you have many different options.
Yeah.
Right? Every time you reach a decision point, it's like you can grab literally any card in your deck. That's the whole point of the strategy. And because of that, every time you lost, you would look back at your previous decision point and said, oh, if I grabbed this card instead, I would have won.
Practice makes perfect.
It feels like a deck that has a very, very high skill ceiling, while actually realistically not being that complex. So
it's just you need to know what to grab. You need to know what your opponent is doing as well.
I can't remember. I think I watched a Veritasum video on how to become a expert at something, right?
Okay.
And it's the commonly quoted thing is 10,000 hours, and it's 10,000 hours of like real effort, reviewing your mistakes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And for that reason, they say that you can't be an expert in like high-speed stock trading because you can't understand why things happened.
Yeah.
Like, you might have theories and stuff, but because there's so much randomness in it, you can't actually become a master. And that's kind of how it feels sometimes when you're playing some of these more non-linear decks, like Tiers, is no matter how much time I put into this, it takes so much effort to figure out where my mistakes were to fix them. Whereas something with like Sky Striker, as soon as the game is over, you know where you messed up. Immediately. It's like sometimes even before you've lost, you already know exactly where you goofed up, and you can do better next time. Whereas with these other decks, it's like I'd have to watch a recording of me playing to figure out where I messed up.
Yeah.
I can't just know after the match is over. I'd have to figure it out. Which is a lot less exciting.
It's, like, losing is never really fun, obviously.
Yeah.
But sometimes, if you keep winning and winning, you never really learn anything.
Yeah.
You're just doing the same thing over and over, and it's working. But the moment that it stops working, you're going to be dumbfounded. You're going to not know what to do afterwards.
Yeah, there's an interesting game design stuff with that, where there's a optimal amount of losing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So there are games that trick you, where they will artificially increase and decrease the difficulty Like they have a hidden difficulty setting that goes up and down to make sure you're winning the correct amount.
Oh, like my Kaiba
really
game.
Sneaky.
Like the Kaiba Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, because
that one's more overt though. Like they're telling you that's what they're doing basically.
Yeah.
Whereas some games they don't tell you. So it feels like you're growing and learning and getting better. And you are, because it is also technically tailored to helping you grow and get better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's doing that in a way that feels more satisfying than what you're actually accomplishing. Because they're decreasing the difficulty. Every time the difficulty level jumps, it's they make sure it's the exact amount you can handle by tailoring it down when you start losing.
And if you're winning too much,
then they pump it up way more.
Make sure that this time he is going to lose.
This time he'll definitely lose.
Yeah.
But then the next time you win, it
feels
against...
good.
Well, it feels good, but it's not against that really hard thing you fought before. Because even though you've learned something, and you kind of get tricked into thinking, oh, wow, if I was this good then, I would have beaten it. But no, you wouldn't.
It's to keep you playing.
Yeah.
Which I like that.
I think I don't know, there's something about deceiving your players that feels a little disingenuous.
I think it's less about deceiving your player and just making sure that your player wants to keep playing.
Yeah. Well, I know that's their objective, but to me, like if I'm playing the game and I figure out that's happening, then it kind of robs the sense of accomplishment almost. It kind of depends, I guess it depends on what kind of game. If it's like an infinite game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you're winning and losing segments,
but
it goes on forever, theoretically.
Yeah.
That's, like, I wouldn't mind then.
Oh,
because the whole point is the experience.
I wanted to complete the card compendium in that Kaiba game. Because you gain cards every time you win.
Oh, so you wanted to complete
I wanted to complete the card compendium, which was like 400 cards about. Mm-hmm. So, essentially, I need to win 400 games. But
you get duplicates.
You can get duplicates.
So you'd have to beat it way more than that.
Beat it way more. So now you need to play matches and hope you win 2 games to get 3 cards.
To save time.
To save time.
Yeah. I tried to... Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But that sort of thing makes perfect sense for me to have that sort of system.
Yeah.
But it's like... How do I put this? Because I imagine myself... If it's a game that has an ending, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you feel like you've earned that ending, only to realize no matter what, anyone could have gotten here. Mm-hmm. And in fact, if you had lost more, you would have been able to get through it easier. Like a speedrunner, if a speedrunner played this game, they would make all of the correct mistakes to lower the difficulty to make it faster.
I mean, but now that's different. Like, I think if you talk about it in a speedrunning way, that's a lot different.
That's true.
But from a game perspective, like, yeah, if you're playing the game and doing better, you're enjoying the harder difficulty, essentially.
Yeah.
You must be, if you're not dying, you know? But if you're dying constantly, you're now getting more irritated.
Yeah.
You want to just get through the game. And them taking okay, let's take the gas, off for a bit. Let them, have an easy time to, reinvigorate the player. Because, to get that ending, I want to get to it happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to it I'm done with this piece of shit game. I'm ready to be done with.
I don't know, but the opposite of that's Fodian games.
What is it?
Fodian games.
Fodian games?
Yeah, the original one is, I think it's called Sexy Hiking.
Oh, those ones? Oh, yeah.
Where in Getting Over It and Pogo Stuck.
Yep.
All of those where it's no, we'll just make this painfully difficult the entire time.
But that's for games that those are for people that love the difficult, the punishment.
Yeah.
You know, people who play Dark Souls and say it's not that hard.
Dark Souls is a little different though, because you can kind of over level.
Yeah,
since there's an actual leveling mechanic. Mm-hmm. It's not easy.
But no,
allow me to be clear.
If you're gonna over level in Dark Souls, you need to grind, and the grind is boring. I don't think Dark Souls 1 is hard, though. That's, one of the only ones I beat. Mm-hmm. I never thought that game was hard.
Interesting.
Just because, at one point, I got, there was, some dude under, a big staircase. Havel, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. Havel the Rock. I found his armor. And the moment I got his armor, I unlocked easy mode.
Interesting.
Because the armor was so freaking strong that I generally didn't care what was hitting me. I would just hit them back harder.
Mm.
And it took away the challenge. So when I beat the game, I was like, eh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. That's very interesting. Whereas, of course, with the other games, like getting over it and stuff, it's skill-based.
It's skill-based. Oh my god, I have yet to finish getting
You
over
are
it.
the one leveling up, not your character.
I am garbage at getting over it. I couldn't get over it.
Yeah. I've never tried a fighting game because I think I would give up. The whole point of those games is that you can't give up because that's the only way to lose. You know?
Oh, yeah.
The whole point is to not give up, but I feel like if I did it, I would give up.
I don't know, because I feel like if I'm so upset during the entire game that I finally get to the end and win, I'm not going to have gratification.
Yeah,
I'm just going to get annoyment, like be annoyed, and move on.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'm one of those kids where my parents didn't let me play first-person shooters.
Oh.
And they limited how much I could play even like Mario Kart because I'd get mad. I was a really sore loser.
Oh, I'm a bad winner.
You're a bad winner.
I'm a bad winner. But but now I think I've changed from what I used to be. I used to be a really bad winner. Now I feel bad for winning because I'm now not used to winning anymore in card games.
Mm.
Like before, I would win at like fighting games against my brother. Always like, yeah, suck on those, bitch. You know, like kind of like that.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm the best. And now I'm like, oh, good game, man. I'm like, am I winning too much? Like, am I taking away the enjoyment of other people? You know?
Nah, they don't need joy. I'll take all of it.
You're absolutely right. That's why I use the Tier 0 deck in every game I play. Except Yu-Gi-Oh! Except Yu-Gi-Oh! That game is insane.
I feel like my being a sore loser has seriously hurt my ability to be competitive in anything. Yeah, we've been going for an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah.
If we hit 2, I can make it 2 episodes.
Oh, I think I get this.
Oh, well, we'll end whenever you need to go.
Okay.
So, by all means, don't feel any...
I was really expecting this to be like an hour podcast.
It usually is. Usually I wound it down, but I like talking to you.
Thank you. I like talking to you, Town. To you too.
I like talking to you, Town. Me too.
Me too.
I mean, not too long ago, I don't know exactly when this one's going to come out.
Okay.
Because the winter break is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to need some buffer for that.
Gotcha.
I'm planning on recording as many as I possibly can today and tomorrow.
That makes sense. Gotta have it for your listening.
Gotta have a backlog.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'll probably have them all, and I'll put them in whatever order makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like this conversation, even though we talked a little bit about this conversation is not very time sensitive, right?
Not really.
So I can push this one out to later, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whereas if I have a conversation with Ed,
about the current meta and like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's going to need to be sooner. So I don't know when this episode is going to be, but as of recording, a few episodes ago was the first 2-parter with Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Where we talked about Hero.
That was a good one. I like that episode.
For 2 hours. And then I cut it into 2 little bits. I really love how the first half ended.
Oh.
There's me coming in and explaining, we'll have the next stuff. But right before then, when someone comes in the room and Sean goes, I know we're gonna die! And then really quietly after that he says, oh my god.
I want to just look back at what we talked about this episode because I think it's weird.
Yeah.
We talked about, first we start with Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! podcast. And then we talked about Digimon and furries and the Harkonnen test.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah, we went over.
And then we talked about your Confederate friend guy and how we're now no longer supported by China or the KKK.
Yeah,
That was, this is a recap too, what happened. In case you missed it.
Yeah, good. That's a solid recap.
Yeah.
But now I've realized if I want to talk about the Furry Matrix, I can just do it in the context of Digimon. Because no one's going to think it's weird if we talk about Digimon.
Exactly.
Because it's a card game tangent thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Digimon card game. I'm really good at that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think what little I know about Digimon, the memory system seems to be interesting.
The memory system is to ensure that one player just doesn't go overboard on one turn.
Steamroll the other one real quick.
Yes, exactly. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, a lot of games just go end on turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
In Digimon, no, there's actually a back and forth system in that game.
It's kind of forced by the game itself.
Yes.
To prevent that.
It's like how Magic has their mana system to ensure, like, turn 1, you don't end the game.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a bit weird in that we don't have a resource at all. The resource is just card advantage.
I don't like that. Like, your resources are whatever you are given at the time. And if you're given really good things, that's game over for the other player. But Digimon doesn't have player interaction, really.
It doesn't?
No, it does not.
That's interesting.
So the most you're going to do is just have blockers.
Mm-hmm.
Blocker and whatever is in your security, which is basically your life points.
What I really liked about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the how it sounds kind of dumb, but the shared turn.
The what?
The shared turn.
The shared turn?
The fact that
I absolutely hate the shared turn. I absolutely hate it. Because my turns could end in 2 minutes, maybe even less, and then on my turn, he spends more time than me.
Yeah. That's
doing his thing.
Yeah.
I don't want our turn. I want my turn. Leave. Stay in your own turn.
Well,
wait.
So I think it's not new anymore, but the Bakugan card game,
Oh, yeah.
I think that's literally the system, is that they have a shared turn.
Yes, but Bakugan works differently, where it's, you throw the thing, the two things collide, and then they fight. And then both players do their cards to ensure that they're the winner.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it doesn't take 15 minutes.
The card games last like an hour.
No.
Anyway,
the card game, the game itself lasting 15 minutes, I'm okay with. The turn lasting 15 minutes,
yeah, but
I'm less okay with.
But if it's our turn,
I don't want it to be our turn. Stay on your own territory.
I like our turn.
I don't. I'm not a fan.
Obviously, it's different. Like older Yu-Gi-Oh, it was a lot more back and forth turns.
Yes, but old Yu-Gi-Oh is boring.
There are some formats that are. There's a weird. I always think it's interesting when I look back at Yu-Gi-Oh history, and of course we think of now Yu-Gi-Oh as being this game where
rapid.
But not just matches are rapid, which they are, but like power creep is crazy fast, and all this other stuff. But when you look back, like during that era when I got started, the power level, the average power level of like every year of Yu-Gi-Oh isn't that much higher. It just peaks more.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We have a format that's like absolutely crazy high power, like Dragon Ruler format.
Oh, yeah.
But then like the format after all the Dragon Rulers get banned down to stuff, it's like, is almost the same power level as what was before the Dragon Ruler.
Yeah.
It's like there was not much of a
it's leveling the system to what it used to be before.
Yeah, it's not much of a permanent incline, whereas the current...
I mean, any tier 0 format is insane. Any tier 0 format just has that peak of the thing you talked about.
Yeah, and the most recent one, obviously, is Shizu tier right now.
Yeah.
But before that, the most recent one was the Spiral.
Spiral was crazy.
I remember Spiral.
And then before that, Zoo.
Yeah.
And then before that, Dragon Ruler wasn't really tier 0.
No,
because it had to compete with Spellbook.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. It was tier, 0.5.
Yeah. They were both close to tier 0, I think.
Well, it was definitely an eclipsed format, where it's technically, there were 3.
Technically.
But, one of them was just, the Evil Swarm.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But that was just because it was, budget deck with a decent Dragon Ruler matchup.
Yeah. What I tried to tell one of my friends, so Digimon now, I was trying to build the Renamon deck. Because I like that Digimon. I like that season. That's like my second favorite season.
Okay. And
it was like the cheaper option. So I was asking hey, what's a good competitive deck for this? And they showed me a deck list oh, this one topped. And I looked at it. I'm like, this shit is horrible. this shit looks bad.
Yeah.
And he's like, but it topped, so it must be good. I'm like, but that's not really true. It could have just had everybody against it, like, didn't do well, and played against bad players, whatever reason. Like,
well, here we have, I don't know what it's like in Digimon, but in Yu-Gi-Oh! We have regionals.
Oh.
You heard that phrase?
I mean, we have regionals.
No.
It didn't top a regional.
Regionals.
Oh, regionals.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Kansas is the one that people talk about a lot. Regionals where it's like, if you know what you're doing,
you're
you
winning.
can top with anything.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a Morphage top before.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, pure Amorphage.
What the hell?
In modern day, not like less than a year ago, pure Spellbook top.
Was it after the Spellbook Judgment came out?
I think so.
Or Prophecy?
Wait,
Which one was it?
I don't remember. But there was fairly recently, Spellbook top, which it was a regional. It's that simple. You go to a place where there are very few competitive players, and then you get a little lucky and you can top.
That's
You're
hilarious.
still probably not going to win the event, but you can top it, which is pretty wild.
That's funny, because, like, currently, playing about that Tsukuyamon deck, like, I built it. Like, my friend was like, oh, but it topped. I'm like, it must be good. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. I played it and absolutely hated it every moment. It's not only not good, it's so high rolly.
Yes, that's one of the things. One of the things I talked about with Sean when he was on is he was talking about the hero community.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of many different variants
Oh, yeah.
of the deck that they play.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about this one guy who topped, and how his strategy being like a rank 4 version that was really high rolling.
He showed me that version. It's so weird.
And I was talking to him, I was like, well, if you really want to top with hero, and you've got the money to burn, build a high rolly variant, and just go to every single event.
And you'll top eventually.
And eventually you'll get lucky.
Yeah.
Because it's high rolly.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
But it's like, especially, you have to be really worried about that, especially if it's a fan favorite deck.
Oh, yeah.
We are tempted to look at Top Cut. And look at those lists and think, these are good decks.
All you see is Tear, Sprite, and maybe Flunder.
Well, right now, yeah.
Right now.
But you look at it and you're like, these decks must be the best variant because they topped, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of disregard, especially if it's fan favorite deck, so many people are going to be playing it. Luck.
Oh,
and
yeah.
in the end, luck is a factor.
Yeah.
So if enough people are playing it because it's a fan favorite deck, and then some of them are playing a high rolly version because that's what topped.
Yeah.
They're playing the high rolly version, and then some of them get lucky on their high rolly version, and then but then you take it to locals or something, you get absolutely smashed.
And you're like, how did this happen?
And it's because it's not the best variant to win. It's the best variant to get lucky.
Yeah.
Like, so many, especially for me, I hate inconsistent decks.
Oh, yeah.
Very much.
That's, some Digimon decks are so insanely inconsistent. Like, there's the 4 Great Dragons. It's a deck that revolves around having, like, these, so the way the level progression in Digimon works, like, you have a level 3, you go to a level 4, you go to a level 5, and then you end on level 6.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes go to a level 7. So it just goes it's like a row.
Yeah.
And then this deck runs 12, maybe 10 level 6s, which most decks only run 4 to 7. 4 to 7 level 6s. That's all you need. Because those are your boss monsters.
Yeah.
But this one runs 12. Which, you know what that means? You rick on them a lot.
Yeah.
And then, it's so inconsistent because the only way to get them out is by 1 card. And you have 4 of them. But this is 4 cards in a 50-card deck. So it's very, very difficult.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's hard time for that deck. That deck never tops. That deck never tops for that reason. It's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
And then there's another version. There's another deck that are our version of Dragon Links. Funny enough, but it's called Hina Links.
It actually has the word links in it still?
Yes, because the chick Hina came from a game called Digimon Links.
Oh.
And she uses dragons.
Oh, so it's actually just a reference to Dragon Link.
It's a reference to Dragon Links and to her game. That is Digimon Links.
Okay.
Which is funny.
People saw the connection and they're like, I got it.
I got it. And so people, it's a deck that revolves around like 2 really big dragons.
Mhm.
But without her, the main character, it's so underpowered. But with her, it tops very easily
Okay.
and consistently.
Uh-huh.
Just as long as you have her.
Uh-huh.
Because if you don't draw her or you don't search her, you're boned.
I see. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Mhm.
That's kind of like old school Sky Striker. It's like if you got to engage,
Yeah.
you won
Like-
every time.
The biggest power in Digimon is the search power.
Mhm.
Because if you have enough search power, you can get every piece that you need.
Yeah.
But it's also dangerous to over search. Because in Digimon, you don't shuffle the deck. You don't, like, when you reveal, when you search, and, cause you don't search the deck, you search top 4, top 5, top 3.
Interesting.
And then when you finish with whatever though, they go to the bottom of the deck and you don't shuffle. They remain at the bottom until you get back to the bottom of the deck. So if you over search, you can send a lot of what you need later to the bottom.
Does that really matter though?
It can. Because you can whiff on searches.
you can still, it's still like, because it being on the bottom versus it being the top is still random chance when you first shuffled.
Yeah.
So that's like the part
But-
of desires. Part of desires, banishing the top 10 and the bottom 10 is exactly the same. It doesn't matter.
Well, it will matter because anytime you digivolve in Digimon, you draw a card.
Mhm.
So you search these 4 cards. The top card is what you needed, but it's unsearchable by that effect. So it now just went to the bottom. And Digimon doesn't have semi-limited or ban.
Mhm.
It only has at 4 or at 1.
Interesting.
So you can search and get your 1 of, and you can grab it. So it goes to the bottom of the deck. You've lost that 1 of.
Mm. Yeah. I see how that would be annoying.
Yeah. So like searching a lot is good, but over searching can hurt.
It's interesting that all the searches is of top power
Yeah,
cards.
it's just top.
That's interesting.
You don't
Very curious.
ever go through the deck to get what you need.
That's very curious. One of the good things about Yu-Gi-Oh! Though is how many search cards there are.
Yeah.
And that you can, for depending on the strategy, pretty consistently guarantee
Mhm.
that you're going to end on the same board every time. That's kind of the big advantage of you having an extra deck. Does Digimon have an equivalent?
No, not really. There's the Digi Egg, but that's not really an extra deck. That's just your the card you start at the beginning of the game. Like it's like Vanguard. It's your starter in Vanguard.
Vanguard has some very funny analogy.
What?
The way they say everything.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's go to the writing phase.
Yeah.
You want to fight?
Yeah. Well, Digimon, it's weird because, like, you want a duel. That's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mhm.
You want a duel. But in Digimon, there really isn't anything like that. People, I don't know if this is official or not, but people say open the digital gate.
You want to
And
open the digital gate?
I don't like it.
Oh.
I don't like that. I say,
Oh,
do you want to do a tamer battle?
Oh.
Because we are both technically Digimon tamers.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. There's not really a cool catchphrase for Digimon.
Probably not for Digimon. I cooked up a little concept for a card game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to think about what I would call it when you play the game.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't really think of anything that's too good. So, very brief overview of the concept.
Uh-huh.
I call it Despair TCG.
Despair?
That's the tentative name.
Okay.
Because in that game, mana is called Despair, right? So there's a turn counter, and, if it's turn 2, you get 2 Despair for turn, right? But it also every card has a fear factor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every card is a fear factor and a despair cost, right? So when you play a card, you have to pay the amount of despair costs. And then your opponent gains despair equal to its fear factor. So it's kind of like memory.
Yeah.
But every card is different. The idea being, if you play your big boss monster, that's very scary, so your opponent gets a lot of despair. But then that helps them on the crackback,
Yeah.
because now they have a ton of despair.
It's like a tug of war system. You give, they take, you give, you know.
Now, there would be a theme where that is despair control, where they have negative fear factor.
Oh, to give yourself?
So it reduces your opponent's
Oh, why not
despair.
why not call it hope?
Well, because hope is life points.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And so the life points is called hope. The mana is called despair. If there are 2 ways to lose, well, 3, I guess, if you deck out. But,
That's always like a whatever.
but you lose if you run out of hope. If you ever run out of hope at any moment, like there's a chain-like mechanic in it. So even in the middle of a chain, if your hope ever hits 0,
You do.
you just lose. But at the end of your turn,
Wait, is it during the chain or at the end of the chain?
even during the chain,
Even during the chain.
if your hope hits 0 ever,
So even if you
you lose.
you go to 0, but then you gain 1 hope, you've already hit 0. It's already done.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because if you're ever hopeless, you've already lost.
That's true. That's actually good.
But if you end your turn with more despair than hope, you lose.
Oh.
So you have to use up your despair. Also, despair rolls over. So you have to use up your despair. Otherwise,
That kind
you'll
of reminds
lose.
me of the mana from Hearthstone.
Wait, is there a negative thing to...
No, but it just reminds me like you need to use all of it, you know?
Oh, yeah, because presumably it doesn't roll over, right?
No, it doesn't roll over, because it'll reset at the next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This one's a little interesting because in the early game, it might be good to let it roll over.
yeah.
But by the late game, it's like you
You
have
don't,
to
yeah, because
burn
you're
through
running
everything.
low on hope. You're running low on hope.
Exactly.
Honestly saying, all this hope and despair made me think of Danganronpa. Do you know what that is?
I'm aware of it. I haven't actually watched it
It's
or played it.
it's a good game. It's not a good. The show isn't that good, but that's off topic.
I don't mind. I'm going to go on that topic. But they have something to do with despair and hope a lot?
Yes,
Are common
that's literally the entire theme of the thing.
Okay.
They go to a school called Hope's Peak Academy.
Hope's Peak Academy.
Yeah, and the main villain is trying to put the world in despair.
Mm,
It's really dumb,
it is though.
but it's a cool if you don't know, because it's basically 12 kids. They have to kill 16 kids. They have to kill each other.
Yeah. I'm aware of
And then a trial happens, and if they get away with it, one of them lives, the killer lives, but then everyone else dies.
Yeah.
And if they get caught, the killer dies, everyone else lives. Go on to round 2. It's fun. It's a fun game. I kind of want to recommend it, but there's a lot of stigma with it.
I don't know. I'm not much like of a real gamer.
It's
so-
like a visual novel puzzle
No, I
game.
don't know.
If it's a puzzle game.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Okay.
I play a lot of Minecraft. That's my
Oh yeah.
that's my jam.
I mean, you can watch a Let's Play of it. I think that's fine.
that'd probably be more likely what I'd do.
Yeah. Just save it in the background.
What did I say that got me onto Despair TCG?
The catchphrase to start the game.
Oh yeah, I'm like I don't know what's despair. Like what am I supposed to call
Yeah,
it?
I don't know.
Also,
Do you want to extinguish hope?
in the way it's set up, so basically everything's a spell card
Mm-hmm.
in the main deck. They're all spell cards, and they have spell speeds.
Oh yeah, of course.
So some of them can be used on your opponent's turn. But by the way, everything is also kind of hand trap
Oh, okay.
as well because there is no setting cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just not a thing that happens. If it has a high enough spell speed, you can just use it, even if it's your opponent's turn.
Uh-huh.
There's a penalty for doing that though. First of all, because it has a fear factor, it gives them despair, which is good for them.
Yeah.
Your opponent, because then now it's their turn and they got more despair, so they actually can use it immediately.
Yeah.
Which is probably not best. So you definitely want to reserve doing stuff on your opponent's turn as much as possible.
Yeah.
But also, the spell speed has to be higher to do it on your opponent's turn than your own. Does that
Okay.
make- So if you, so obviously like spell speed 1, you can only use on your turn. Spell speed 2, you can use on your turn in response to something else.
So, wait, I have a question. I know you're not very, very thorough with this yet.
Yeah.
I know you're giving it some thought.
Uh-huh.
And I just have a question. So, let's say, my opponent has, 2 hope left. I don't know, what's the base hope?
I don't know yet.
Okay. Let's say my
They
opponent
have
has
a
2
very
hope left.
small amount of hope left.
Yeah, very small amount of hope left. And he's about to end his turn when he has 1 despair. What if I play something that gives him two? What if I give something played like it as an instant? Play something that gives him
more
2 despair.
That's good.
Does he just die?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a play.
Okay.
Is that you would get them low hope, and then when they're trying to end their turn, you spam some cards to try to give them more despair.
Is there a despair limit? Like, I think if you're starting the game,
I think the despair limit would probably be whatever the max health is.
Yeah, like, I don't think it should go higher than max health.
If you haven't taken any damage, I don't think you should be allowed to lose.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that.
So probably whatever the health is going to end up being like 40 hope or whatever.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to have more despair than that.
Damn, but 40 despair, that's a lot. That's a lot of plays, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about this in the Digimon way where the max you can get is 10 memory.
Yeah. It'd definitely be more than 10. I don't know. It's kind of... I haven't really worked it out yet.
Yeah, I know.
There are monsters.
I'm already just curious about it and stuff. Like, I'm interested in it.
Yeah, I thought of it. I really like just the first of all, just the gimmick of using the words despair and hope. Because it's kind of almost self-explanatory in a way. Because every time I tell you one of the rules, you're like, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But there are monsters, but they're all in the extra deck.
Okay.
Which I'll call the Ether.
Oh, that's a good name. That's a good name.
So there are cards. Lots of the cards lets you summon stuff from the Ether.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all going to have like conditions on it. So rather than having types and attributes, everything has tags. So they have a name, right? Every card is a name. And then underneath that, it's like every subgroup it goes in, right? So there might be an archetype, right? And so it'll be in that archetype, but it also might be a type of card, so it'll have that there. So everything can be several different things. Mm-hmm. And in fact, there can be more than one card with the same name, but different tags and different effect and stuff. And they're different cards. But you can still they both count for the deck limit.
Okay.
So we can have two Berthas.
Yeah.
Right?
Just a name.
They have a different archetypes they're a part of. They have a different effect.
It's like...
But you can only play one of the two of them you have to pick.
Gotcha. It's like, you can only have set of name. Mm-hmm. Set of the name.
Yeah.
You can't have more of that name.
And it's not quite like Duel Links. In Duel Links, you'd be able to like, how they're limited and stuff list.
Yeah. But
you'd be able to play some mixture of them.
But like, let's say...
they are exclusive. You can't play both.
But like, let's say, for example, you have monster number A. But then they made monster number A again, but he's different. Mm-hmm. But then they made a retrain of boss number A. You can only still have one or two of each one.
The idea kind of would be, because like all good card games, there'd be a story to the actual cards, like their world.
Yeah.
And if they have the same name, it's the same person.
Yeah.
It is the same person going through this adventure.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if they and a younger version of themselves were both on the field.
That makes sense.
Or in your deck.
But I guess,
That'd be weird.
Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't care about that.
Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't care.
Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't care.
In fact, in the exact same strategy intended, you'd play 3 different age ranges of the same character. But in this, it's like... But also it means that I can make strategies that are by definition...
Are you talking about Vista Starfrost?
I wasn't, actually. I was talking about Crusadia.
Oh, Crusadia. That's a good one, too.
Like Avermax.
Or Ecclesia. You could use Ecclesia. That's a very good example.
A bunch of variations of her.
There's a bunch of her.
But, like, I'd be able to intentionally make it so, like, maybe, like, the best card in a lot of different strategies is the same dude.
Oh, yeah.
You can't mix them. Because you can only play one version.
It's to allow the game not to become overtly broken.
It's
because of two super strong cards.
Even though there's no thing that says you have to play stuff of the same archetype, because the best card in several different archetypes is all the same name, you can't mix them.
Yeah. Because
now it's like they don't go together at all. You can't summon them. Now maybe there'd be some exceptions where stuff is explicitly made to work together.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe there's some card that calls forth
like how
guy of this name.
Magic the Gathering has the partner system where it allows you to have 2 commanders.
Interesting.
But they need to both have the thing where it says partner.
Okay. Interesting.
So you can't just mix and match different commanders together. They need to say partner on it. Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, yeah, that's my little card game idea. By the way, we've been talking for a while.
I know.
And it's probably...
I think it's time to wrap it up.
I think it's about time to wrap it up.
So, recap, number 2.
I have no idea how... It's long enough, I'm going to cut it.
Okay.
In 2 pieces. I have no idea where the cut's going to be, though.
I think you can make the cut on the recap, the first one I did.
I don't know when that was.
I don't know
I
either.
think that was like an hour and a half in, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, that might be too late.
Not be.
That might be too late.
I'll figure it out. But hey, that's 2 episodes for the price of 1.
Then we're getting a recap halfway through this episode for the previous episode. In case everyone forgot.
Everyone forgot. It's been a week for you.
It's been a week. Who knows?
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed this a lot.
You're a fun guy to talk to.
Thank you. You're very enjoyable to talk to as well.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.